Does Dharma share common ground with artistic processes? So, in the wider sense, such as like music or film or poetry, in that it appears to be a creative process?
Well, there is some overlap. There could be some overlaps. We could say, but it would be tendentious to identify in any particular music or art form and say, oh, that's Buddhist, and we claim that, because that's dubious, I think, to do that. But to put it in a very Buddhological way, it's said that the Buddha can even, being as the Buddha's, if you were, primary work is to connect people with the path. It's said that Buddha can even sometimes manifest as art or manifest as an artist, because the art that creates beauty in a way raises people up, raises people's vision up. That's not enlightenment, but it can in some way broaden people, raise their consciousness, raise their vision, so they start to then attend to the world in a new and fresh way. So, without elaborating an aesthetic theory, I don't want to go down there too much, we could say that art can be supplementary to Dharma, and that very fact it can is shown by that theory that Buddha could even appear as an artist or as a piece of art. Now, we probably shouldn't go too far down, because then people start asking, well, identify some such enlightened art, and that's far too complex. But what does it mean for us? I think it means that, well, actually, Buddhist cultures, wherever they've gone, often have stimulated kind of artistic productions, whether it's visual art, particularly in China and Japan, whether it's drama, as in Southeast Asia, a lot of which was based on Buddhist themes, and so on. And so it seems that Buddhism works well in a cultural medium where there's beautiful art. It seems to support the Dharma. Now, does that mean that all Buddhists should then embrace art? No, it's up to individuals. But it's interesting and important, I think, that Buddhism has this positive relationship with the art, with beautiful art. But it will differ. If there's Buddhist-inspired art that develops in the West, it will have different kind of aesthetic quality, resonances maybe than in China and Japan. It hasn't happened yet. It may happen in the future.
So could we say Dharma is a creative process, just in itself, maybe not compared to other...
I'm not really sure how you're defining... I mean...
Yeah, it's quite a corporate word sometimes.
Yeah, creative process. Well, there is something to point to there, of course, which is where we can make a distinction. In some ways, Western art is very much driven by the idea of originality and the new, make it new, as Ezra Pound said, come up with something new. That's not a very Dharma value, because it's like, in terms of enlightenment, nobody can improve on the enlightenment of the Buddhas, because they recognize the true nature of reality, which is unborn and unceasing. So in Buddhism, art has a value in as much as it's a gateway beyond itself to the transcendent realm, beyond birth and death. Whereas a strong imperative in much Western art, particularly since the Renaissance, he said, pretending he had a knowledge of art history, is driven by the idea of originality and newness, and so there's some interesting, thought for drawing a distinction, or drawing, a distinction between much modern art process and therefore creative. You see, because creative is almost like suggests you've got to come up with the newest thing, something that's never been done, something that's never been said before. And that's very definitely not a kind of Buddhist value.